I thought that half the horsepower on a car would mean half the time of building it. Honestly, like, okay, it's a lot less, but we're unable to cut corners. We don't do that. And that's weird to say because we really don't. Like, look at how good this car looks. Each car we do gets better and better. It is 9 in the morning, the day of the event. We'll have it fired up today. We'll have it on the street today, but we're both on like less than 4 hours of sleep in the last 2 days.
Yeah.
And that's kind of dangerous. Not for our health. On the track, like, we'll wipe out another car or something actually bad.
And how much fun can we actually have when we're like extremely tired?
Yeah.
I mean, nonetheless, I'm really proud of how much work we've gotten done. The ARC-8, it happens to be further away than it's ever been.
And yet closer.
Yeah. But I mean, it looks good. This car is almost ready to fire up. I have no doubt about this car. Everything's been solid.
I think all you guys know this, that when you go to like these sort of track events, you're always exhausted because you're like, okay, I'm gonna make sure I don't die at the event. and then also on top of that, we have a 2 hour plus drive there. It's just not cool, not fun, and that's actually half the fun. But this is just too much. I just can't cut corners. I was making sure that like all the computer stuff, I just had to be thorough because you don't want to like hit a bump on there and then the car shuts off. And so it's all working, but it's just like, oh my God, this is our blitz build. We got the whole car.
Yeah.
We restored a car in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
From never, I hadn't ran in forever. We're gonna go take a nap, probably together. He's gonna take a nap. I'm gonna just mindlessly wire up some of the more circuits and relays. Like, I got the core wired, and so like everything else is just getting done. So I'm gonna just mindlessly do that because drinking caffeine. Green tea latte. What the fuck is that?
Oh, that's me.
Oh, that is warm. I haven't slept since the last shot. I couldn't sleep. I had to get the car perfect. It helps me understand my decision-making process to go, okay, you know what? I was 10 hours behind. Now I can make better decisions. I needed to know exactly how much time I was behind. That said, I want to show you guys what I've gotten working. Now, this is all wired in. I've got both fan relays, and one of them's not mounted yet. We'll just put it up like this, just to show you. Nice, clean setup here, and it hides down there, sealed, so that way the whole car can go through the wash. And then this is the ground for the fan itself, which I suspect this fan's going to turn on, and the little baby fan right down there is also going to turn on. So let's hear what happens. Yep, both fans.
That's strong.
Yeah, that little one moves some serious air, and the big one, of course, obviously moves some serious air. I'm going to disconnect the signals for those because I suspected that would happen. I'm going to plug it back in, and nothing happens. Also, show you guys, look at, who am I, right? Actual proper sized fuses for each of the fans, wired straight to here. Again, all hand tight. We should hear the fuel system possibly fire up for the first time. I don't know. I know that I wired in the water pump, and so we'll see the water pump turn on. We'll see the wideband oxygen sensor controller turn on. Everything should prime. There's accessory mode. That was both pumps, the in-tank and the above one. I don't know if I have them on low or high or anywhere in between. They default. Oh, listen to that. That's the water pump working. Of course, I'm not going to run it too hard. There's nothing in it. I've got a coolant dash sensor problem. So the sensor in the dash thinks that there's no coolant because it's not plugged into anything right now. So I'm going to have to fix that. But wideband's working. Everything's working. So off of the key properly, I have it solid, not that sort of normally janky shit. Core of the car is ready to go. Major just here and there dress up, and then the car is really ready to fire.
So this is a two-piece blow-off valve flange. I'm sure if you guys are familiar with the HKS stuff, there is this little dick that you weld on there, and then there's a thread in here, right? and then this threads onto here. But what I don't understand is, do I weld this? Do I let the... No, you don't. Yeah, I don't know, because obviously it could leak through the threads, but I mean, I just fucking put them on there like crazy. I mean, obviously when you weld it, it was warped the threads a little bit. I think that's why it was kind of hard to thread on there. But I don't know. I think I'm just gonna weld it. Should have just put a Turbo Smart one on here.
We are doing some actually kind of cool stuff this time around with a little bit more energy. So this is the alternator bracket. I cut the bulky connector off it because I don't need that. Blue will go back onto the alternator for self-referencing regulation. And then yellow, which I always think of yellow as the LED, like light, that's the light line. In this case, I'm not going to be running it to dash or anything like that. Maybe I will, but then I'll cut this off. This acts like an LED, so it adds a little bit of resistance to this line and will ground it. So it thinks that, oh, hey, there's a circuit, and then it'll actually help make sure the alternator doesn't discharge while it's just sitting there. This is a weird combo. On my 3-rotor, I actually power this line, and it works, but it's not proper. You end up slowly draining your battery if the car's off. But a lot of things like this, if you take a look at the throttle body and all that, we've just really made some super clean upgrades versus all of our previous builds. Another day, another day. I was gonna say $1, but maybe a couple dollars spent. Late last night, I spent a lot of time making this thing perfect from a electronic standpoint. So first of all, I got the wastegate wired in. I actually even included the turbo speed sensor. I pulled that off the 3-rotor, so it keeps getting passed around. I cleaned up the whole water pump assembly, so that's all out of the way. Tested all my coil wires, got everything ran properly grounded. Got the wideband, that's all TR25 because that area is extra hot. I want to show you guys a couple things though. Right now, nothing's fired up, right? Go ahead and plug this in. You can hear the car knows that the key is in the ignition. I went through all the stock harness, so no more weird beeping, but you guys follow me around that side. First thing, fuel system engages. We got our oxygen sensors firing up. You can see those two sensors blinking as it's heating up. And there it goes, boom, it's heated up, 1.23 lambda, and then better voltage, everything's low, but watch this. Got the throttle position, with that other TPS sensor working perfectly. All of my other things are all working, coolant temp, air temp, battery obviously, air pressure, which is wired into the back of this. So I started a map from fresh. This was the old computer for this car, and while we are going to Haltech on the 4-rotor, this one I just wanted to keep learning and improving skills. I took my editing laptop, which Joel thinks is his. Let's see. He's one of those guys that does this. Monster.
Nah, that was all you, dude.
That's you. I don't know.
See all this oil? That wasn't there before.
That's not oil. So I started a map from fresh while nobody else was here, so that way I could just really finesse every detail and cover anything possible. Obviously, I calibrated the throttle position. I haven't messed with any fuel or ignition tables. But O2, TPS, air temp, oil, engine temp, oil pressure, oil temp, fuel pressure, back pressure, clutch switch. I even have the drive shaft RPM almost working. I just have to play with that for a while. Turbo speed. And then, this is probably my favorite part. Go to outputs. Watch this. Main fan. I can feel the air from here. And then, little baby fan. All on relays, everything's working there. Progressive nitrous is actually just another name for me to have it where the fuel system goes from low fuel to high fuel pressure at about 2,000 to 3,000 RPM, so it ramps up in that range. So that way the fuel system at idle is using the lowest amount of amps and it's the quietest it can be. And then over 3,000 RPM, instead of having it go 0 to 100 at the top, you can have tuning issues, different ways of getting to the same spot. So at 3,000 RPM, no matter what, the fuel system goes to 100%. It means that we're ready to bake pancakes. It means we're ready to make some serious power. I don't know what rear diff is in this. I'm gonna assume it's the stock one, maybe some upgrades, but gearing wise should be the stock rear diff. Just all of these different things really make this thing easy to start up. I've got a huge list, a full single page sheet of everything that needs to be done today to fire this up, but it's all system checks, mostly focused on making sure we have the timing wheel in the right spot. Something I want to do is actually probably cut into the full function cap here and make a breather from that to the overfill tank, because this is a known issue that because oil collects in this area, it prevents the system from breathing, and then you actually have even more blow by because of the problems with the turbo too. So we're going to put a rather large, maybe 8 AN or 10 AN line off of this right here, have it go to an overflow tank, and really let that whole crankcase system breathe. This is, thank God this thing has its own fill, because this bottle, it's gonna be easier just to pour straight from the bottle.
Oh.
See, that's exactly the problem. You see how it glugged?
Yeah.
That's a perfect example of how bad that filler neck is. Good to know. I didn't expect to have that problem just filling it. The coolant system is particularly interesting because of how much corrosion the engine did have. I won't have that now, especially because I'm using some additive instead of just regular water that's not distilled. That's just a recipe for disaster. I think that's part of the problem there. I'm super curious to see how this system reacts. Now, this is the smaller little baby water pump, but that works phenomenal on the rotary vet, and basically 2 rotors, it shouldn't be a problem at all. In fact, the BMW one for the 3 rotors, very overkill. At peak, it is at 40% operation, and it could go even lower. I just have it at 40% because I just want to be absolutely certain it's pumping, but it's not necessary. So this thing should be fine for this car. This blows me away. I hate Arrowhead with a passion. The brand is because I hate spring water. I hate spring water. And then Joel shows up one day for the CNC machine. He's like, I saw this. I was like, get that shit out of here. And it ends up being distilled water. So Arrowhead, thank you for finally making something other than crap water.
Why don't you like spring water?
I hate spring
That's all they
water.
had, too.
I hate spring water with a passion.
Is it because there's no springs in Michigan?
Well, no, we're the land of not 10,000 lakes. That's Minnesota, but Michigan's got a shit ton of lakes. I love purified. I love purified water.
It does taste weird.
I'm hoping that the way that we've got this coolant system set up, that it kind of self-bleeds for the most part, instead of some of our other setups. They're like miniature little islands of air trap. This one is really clean, where the air should come out at the very first second. So I feel really good about that. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the key on, and that'll automatically start letting the coolant pump do its thing. We're currently right here, so I'm gonna see how much disappears. So remember, the engine's completely empty, it's dry. So we should be able to take this coolant stock, get it through that thing. Hopefully it's working well enough to do that, and then push it into the engine. So let's see how far that goes. The power to on. Wow, that sucked in almost the whole radiator. I just watched it. You could probably hear that.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I love electric water pumps. You have control over that system without having the whole car doing all the crazy shit. We go for round 2. Again, it's like right here.
Oh, that fitting's leaking a
Yeah,
little bit.
Which one?
something over there. Round 3. Now hopefully you guys get to hear the bass drop. Oh, please hand him the camera. Please.
No, thank you.
Give him the camera. Give him the camera.
Give me the. I'll record off of my phone. It'll still.
So this is the fluid I extracted through DNA sequencing.
It looks clumpy in there.
Yeah, look at the bottom. Look at all that. That's the master cylinder on the clutch is broken. It's all just settled in the bottom, and so the master cylinder is all screwed up. So Joel's gonna go out to AutoZone or Riley's or whatever and go pick up one of those. But I was just doing this so I could get the fluid out of it, so it's a lot cleaner to install. That shows you your problem to begin with. So if the symptom I was having is that we'd press the clutch, fluid would come out, we'd let go of the clutch, and it wouldn't suck it from the reservoir. It was actually trying to pull it back through the line, and that shows you the reservoir is all fucked up. Today has certainly kicked my ass, and by that it's kicked Isaiah's ass too. More so because we're having pinhole leaks all throughout the cast aluminum. It's a really wonderful problem to have. It's just amazing. I tried to win this. So what we are going to do right now is say, okay, ignore the coolant system. There is water in the block, I think. We are going to check timing. We have oil. We're going to check timing so that we're spinning the motor over. We're not hurting it that much. And then once timing is verified, we're then going to try to put fuel in it, listen to the fuel system engage, and then start it. Test number 4 for welding cast aluminum. Here it comes.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
Don't leak. I know just what you're thinking. The top one leaked, that's okay. Does the bottom one do anything?
There we go.
Was that?
There we go.
It's pouring out of the top one.
Running dry.
Yeah,
We're solid for the moment.
but, okay.
Until we hit pressure.
It's time to do some janky shit. I have a spark plug, an old dead one, that we're gonna ground out, so now we have a professional way of seeing the spark. And what I've done is I've made sure that this is rotor 1 leading. Somebody other than me with not enough hands is gonna just hold this here, but we're also going to actually check to make sure that it flashes.
I hear it.
I hear it sparking.
Okay, but do you see the,
No.
The light now.
got my handy dandy way of shorting out the entire car. And I'm gonna turn the motor over without the ignition on and without the fuel system on. So we will see if that starts lighting up. Was it sparking at all?
The
No.
light now. What's going on?
We're pre-mixing since we are Boosty Boys. You do 2 ounces to a gallon. So today, guys, we're using 91. Easier to start on regular old gasoline. My tuner's kind of new. Keep it here. Cool. Remember, I always shake that front of them. That is fresh new gas going into that gas tank right there.
The E is going up.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's
Grab that. That's
Yeah, so at least it's like, yeah, when you look at it from different angles. I mean, you know,
Something's smoking up there, dude. It's the coils.
unplug the something. This one.
Which one?
Just this one. This one.
I told you something smells funny, didn't I?
Yeah, I told you one of them could be bad too. Let's get that thing out of there.
Turn it over, man. Look at the igniter. It got so hot it started to burn the anodizing off. That's like when I weld anodized and it starts to burn it off. That's like the same color it turns. It's like the weirdish.
Make sure it's not my wiring by just leaving this coil separate from the other ones. If the coil overheats again, then it's my wiring. But it really isn't. The wiring's not the problem. They were actually quality ones. There is actually 2 types of these. There's really cheap ones, and they do operate differently.
Those are AM too, right?
Those aren't.
That one is AM.
Yeah, this one's the
The only way that you can fry these yourself, which is a very important way, is that if you tell the coil to dwell, and it does not stop dwelling, and you'll overheat the coil, getting it ready, and it never sparks, it never releases. So normally on coils, you actually tell it, hey, charge up for 4 milliseconds roughly, and then let go. If you hold it for longer than that, you're going to fry the coil. So we will plug into rotor 2, see if that one gets hot. You actually should be able to see it if I do this. If it was... Yes, this coil's not... Oh, I'm hearing... It sounded like fuel. I forgot it's going to start pressurizing the fuel system. I hear air, so something... I think something is loose. Air? Yeah, come up here and listen to the fuel system. You hear that?
Yeah.
That's the noise. Watch out for noises like that when you're first testing stuff like this. Radically change this vehicle all in 2 days, so it's going to be probably an easy fix, but you be very observant during this moment. Don't rush this time. Like I made a full, complete list. That's why I tested timing without firing up the car, because you wouldn't have heard that noise if the car fired, right? So this is the sort of stuff that I take very, very seriously. You've never seen me catch my cars on fire. You've never seen my wiring actually have a problem, other than overheating on a long run. But because off camera, I take this moment obsessively serious, because if I blow the car up right now, I look like a piece of shit. There we are.
That's awesome. Okay, cool.
Yeah, much quieter. I think the very first time I fired up the 3-rotor, I had all these tied in. Because we now have fuel pressure, so now if I turn it over, it is going to inject fuel. It's the real deal. So the only thing we have right now that we are going to skip a little step, and I want to point this out, this is the reality of what we're doing, is we're not seeing oil pressure. And I think it's because we just can't overcome the fact that the oil pump is filled with air, and that little straw that's going to suck into it, there's air, it's loose, it's older, it's from the 80s. So the thing I'm going to rely on is once we start it, once it fires and gets to higher RPM, it naturally will just pull that air so fast that it pulls the liquid up. I'm just going to watch the oil pressure. Now, I don't know if I have it set on this one. I don't think I do. On the 3-rotor, the car will not fire until it sees oil pressure. This one, I don't have that safety enabled. Uh-oh. What's that noise?
Oh, yeah.
Inside the car?
Filter wasn't tightened.
If you get this, just be careful. These are not one fitting connected. I tightened this thinking that this was a 90 on that fitting, but this is just an extension.
Yeah,
so
that is my bad, because I put that on there. I put that all together, but never tightened them. You wouldn't have known that that's a really custom. Remember the little dick piece? That's not a 90-degree fitting. It's a separate 90-degree elbow. So it's kind of my bad. Prime the fuel system one more time. Make sure that we got all the leaks as we're cleaning it up.
it's a lot quieter.
Seems good.
Sounds good up here. It's holding pressure up here.
All metal underneath here, so there's nothing to really rust out, but I'd rather throw soap and water on it to kind of neutralize the fuel. That way there's no major vapors, or you never know. This thing hasn't ran in whatever 15 years, so electrical short or something.
It is time to finally fire it up. I'm excited, nervous. I love all the sounds that this thing's making. We have the water pump currently disabled, just so it doesn't keep draining tons of power while we're doing this. Are you guys ready for this? We've got fuel pressure. We have 0 fuel pressure. Let's see if we see fuel pressure. 37 psi. That works for me. Here we go.
That was too easy.
Holy shit! That is the first moment it's been turned over with fuel. I did calculations. What I did is I knew that the injectors, the primary injectors on the 3-rotor are 1700s, and so they take 4 milliseconds of fuel to fire on E85. So I said, okay, these are 1050. So I went backwards and took added time because they're smaller, and then took from E85 and said, okay, regular gas takes 30% less. So I just put in numbers. And it fired on the first try. Okay.
Sounded nice, too.
Sounded instantly nice. We're gonna see if we get oil pressure this time. Oh, it's got oil pressure of 30 psi.
Let's go.
Okay.
Hey, what happened right now?
We just fired this damn thing up on the very first rotation. Not even first try. First rotation in 20 years. I don't know how long this whole car hasn't ran, like, ever. And we just fired it up instantly. My God, does this sound amazing. Here we go for number 2.
Turbo sounds bitchin', dude. Yeah.
Holy shit. We hit 126 psi oil pressure. Oh, she sounds amazing.
Sounds real good.
Holy crap. It's not like, okay, we have the 4-rotor, 3-rotor, rotary vet, like we use all the maps. This is literally a raw map I just did last night just because I was like, you know what? I'm not going to skip steps and copy things over. That was the turbo.
Yeah.
That was the turbo. Okay, I'm going to fire it up and let it idle for a little bit because it's got 120 psi oil pressure. It's got those huge 2.2 millimeter holes in the E-shaft and 126 psi at idle, which is what I want. I crushed everything down. I had to go over 70% throttle to do fuel cut.
Yeah.
And so then
Windshield was opening.
Really?
Yeah. It looks sick, but it's just.
Wow. That sounds so good.
Dude, that turbo moves some air.
You could feel it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why my hair looks so good. I was right on it. It styled me up real quick.
Wow.
It lined me up.
So as you can see, the stars and the clouds look beautiful. What that means to me is that my fuel map is not even meant for rotary. It's just whatever the ECU like auto generated. So I've got to cut that in about a third and not have to go to the rev limiter to do fuel cut. But that's nasty. That is nasty. So I cleaned this thing up, and I think it is an authentic HKS because it's got this beautiful little wild-looking holographic thing there. But I'm wondering which way we should put it. Were you thinking like that? When we can't go up. We can't really. I guess we're either this way or this way. But then that kicks the hose out here.
Will off of this one over here work? If I tee off of that one?
Yeah. As long as this never springs a leak or the brake booster springs a leak, you know, like those diaphragms, as long as those don't leak, it's not going to affect the fuel pressure regulator on this car too much. Obviously, I wouldn't do that on any other lower or higher level car, but I hate compression rings. I love what they do, but I hate them with a passion.
No more air. You hear that?
Yeah, there's no tinkle. The ring's pretty well seated. It's not seated like the Dream, but we're also using used equipment, so. Hi, I'm Rob Dahm, and we're about to beat on a car that hasn't ran in 20 years. With a seat. Just throw it at the seat. So we are finally able to get this car running, and in a blitz amount of time. This is way faster than we've ever done. Some of you guys love making fun of us that we never get projects running. This one, signed, sealed, delivered in like 2-3 weeks. It's been utterly insane. We're finally putting the seat back in, which is kind of symbolic for me because you don't put that in until you're really ready to do anything. And we're finally ready to have it out of the shop, tune it, drive it a little bit. We've got some odds and ends, but that doesn't matter. This is actually the first time the seat's been in the car with the new carpet. It's been going somewhere like that.
One thing that I missed dearly and was one of my favorite parts about my car was the seat belts. Did the automating thing.
He's going on about the seatbelt.
That is the only downside to this car.
Upside.
That some people have different opinions.
I hate the auto seatbelts.
My auto seatbelts work perfectly fine. So I walked in, I opened the door, and I opened up. I'm like, oh wow, thank you, you're such a gentleman. I closed my door, and it just went back, and that's all I had to do. It's such a that was one of the major things I remember about my car, and I'm sad he doesn't have them.
Okay. Oh, this reminds me of my old car. I really never sat in this car much on purpose. There's the brakes. We have no clutch still. I forgot about that. We'll have to fix that. We'll have to bleed the clutch again. Okay, so what we are going to do right now is set base fuel pressure. Honestly, anywhere between 43 and 46, 47 is good enough for me. But we're just going to do it with the car off. Turn the fuel pressure on. That's base fuel pressure. What we're going to do is watch for fuel pressure as soon as I turn this key over. Yeah, we're at 56, 7. So we're a little high. So that's why we're also shooting more fuel into the system.
All right, check it.
41.
More? Oh, I moved a little bit, sorry.
42. 44. We're at 44.8. 45. We are using air pressure in general, to bleed this system. It's a very complex system for being so simple. Yeah, it feels like
I see bubbles.
I put a little bit of pressure in there. Keep on. Diddle.
What's that?
So diddle it.
Yeah, it's a full-blown clutch pump right now. This is a very exciting moment because firing it up for the first time, sometimes you can get lucky with that. But this, I'm hoping to get it to idle just right. We have all the turbo hooked up, so it's going to totally change what I was just doing before, so it might run lean instead of rich. We're going to find out together. We should hear fuel systems turn on, water pump go.
That was easy. What? Oh my god.
Sounds good, dude.
Yeah, that was just alright, cool. Each time like the arc stays so bad.
thing. Look at this, it's completely smooth. I'll pull the pedal back even more. Man, I guessed these numbers. These are not modified. I modified that. This is completely, after I was starting that little bit, this is where we're at right now. Yeah, it's trying to auto-tune. It's trying to richen itself up. Oops. I turned that on to... She sounds good.
It has a little
She
look
sounds
to it.
good. Let's see. So
That's what a two-rotor is supposed to sound like?
This is what a two-rotor is supposed to sound like. That's 900 RPM, 30 seconds into turning the car on.
Sounds good, huh?
That sounds really good. And hard to believe that there's a 500 horsepower monster right there. Wow.
The fuel system's real quiet.
Yeah, the fuel system, you can't tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, come close. You don't hear it. You don't hear anything. And that it's a whole fuel system meant for double the power that we're making right now. I'm so impressed. Like, this is the most noise you can hear, and there's no sound deadening whatsoever for that little thing. I can't say enough about the Fuel Lab whole fuel system. Phenomenal, solid for this little car. It's time to start giving her baby like RPM increments and see where she goes. I'm gonna turn off closed loop because it throws me off. Coolant system's looking good. Even at idle right now, which is we're idling a little high. Watch if we drop it down to. There's 700 RPM. We run a little low on oil pressure, but that's a little low too. So at 1,000 RPM, we have 35 PSI, which is solid for what I want, quite frankly, because it's not gonna idle at that ever. But then as soon as you go to like 1,500, we're already up 50s. Joel missed the second startup, which was very, very smooth. But what we're about to do right now is I'm gonna do my little do re mi fa sol la. So we're gonna see what we see. I turned off closed loop. I didn't realize I'd left it on. We'll go ahead and just hit every 500 or so and see what she sees. Pedal back on the bottom side. Let's see. We'll set this. We'll maybe boost right there. We'll clean these up as we go. And just so all I'm doing is I'm watching this and trying to keep it at 0.9 right now. Okay, so you see it starts getting lean up there. So I'm gonna go ahead and make this area 1. No, you son of a fuck. Okay. I was just gonna say I'm gonna commit those. Whatever, we'll just M 1.1. Because I didn't want that to undo. If you click undo, all those dotted ones. Okay, that's annoying. Turbo wants to go. I can hear it. We are logging. Okay. So at about 3,500 in this area, she starts to. I'm just gonna M 1.5. I think the coolant just hit 185. My one fan turned on, so we're gonna see how well that fan does it. Pulling it down. Oil temperature is 167. That's not bad. It's not going to trigger anything. We can hear it firing up. We see the coolant dropping back down. So we are in business there.
What was that?
Turbo spinning fine?
Yeah.
I'm just crossing eyes. T's the V-bands on the turbo are fine? Mm-hmm. She sounds nasty. What you're hearing the turbo kick on at is 3,400 RPM. That's what that noise where it just sounds like the car's about to take off. That's 3,400 RPM. So this turbo is ridiculous. If I gave it a little too much gas, between 3,000 to 3,200 RPM, it was already going super lean because it was so much more air from that turbo. Long story short, I mean, I gotta take it around the block, obviously, to compare load versus non-load. To, I just want to drive this thing. This thing's fun as hell. I'm just gonna go through these logs while we're just dotting our I's, crossing our T's. Everything looks good, but my God, is this thing ready to just romp? It is ready to make some ruckus. Isaiah wanted to take a little nappy while I was working on the mappy. God, I can feel I'm 38. And so we're gonna wake him up the right way. He doesn't like to miss out on the fun. So this is the third time of starting this car.
I'll catch it this time.
That's right. Out of gear.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. I'm just waiting for it. So we gotta wait for the O2 sensor to come back in. It's just sounding good. And that stumble, I'll clean that up. That is actually the amount of fuel in it. Okay, there we are. The data logger. And we are gonna go into gear. Let's see, where's reverse right down. Whoa, that's a really. Oh.
She's moving.
Okay. I have no power steering yet. There he is. We got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Okay. That is a slushy clutch and a slushy first gear. Everything's so slushy. Okay. So far, so good. Okay, there we are. There's our maiden voyage. Our sticky tires.
Yeah,
Those
they're
coolos
really
are
sticky.
sticking. Kicking up rocks. I can hear them on the outside. I can hear it throwing rocks.
Fresh meat.
Oh, brakes work. Anything I was worried about Kumo, those Kumos are insane. Okay. Oh, clutch. Okay. So we're just gonna pull one little loop. That is inaugural first run. I'm gonna give this section up here more fuel. Just starting to get a
Does
little.
it drive like a Mazda?
It drives like an 80s Mazda. It's hilarious.
Nice.
I'm gonna go ahead and do that again.
The clutch feel.
Sloppy. The shifter's slushy. Everything's hilariously slushy. Oh, hang
Like
on.
an 80s Mazda car.
Hang on. I can tell she's just ready to go. Oh, you can hear it. You can hear it at 2,400 RPM. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
I let off because I heard it. Oh my God, that was 3,200 RPM, and then it started climbing, and I saw it getting lean a little bit. Okay, she's gonna be a monster.
Sounds so good.
That does sound amazing. Quite the opposite of the rotary vat. She's a happy car. I have to try to extrapolate a map out of that. Oh my God.
She handles pretty good.
Yeah. It was one of our first cars that like aligned on the first road trip. That car is ready to party, and I need to be ready for it to be ready because it's gonna get it out of control. It sounds so sick. Yeah. I'm seeing where it's going lean and everything. So now I do the boring part. You guys get to go to the next step, but I am going to sit here and just try and fill in the gaps from what I've learned from just idling it and holding it up higher, and then driving it, and then we'll do a little baby, maybe a little baby. So with all this cleanup, it looks a lot more smooth in the areas that count. We're gonna back up a little bit, and then we're actually gonna rev it all the way up to probably 7,000 RPM and try and hold it as long as I can. You're gonna see me grinning or grimacing You're gonna see me definitely under some pain because it's just not something I want to do to a car or engine like this. So, but we're purposely incrementally going higher and higher and getting that base core part of that map, so that way then we can go back on the street and we're not gonna get close to getting lean. Intake temps are gonna be way hotter than normal. Watching out for fuel pressure dropping because we only put 3 gallons into it, so we gotta be careful for that too. And so we're just gonna watch to see. Okay. I saw a moment where it went to 1.1. We're gonna fix that. And I've gone through and I've smoothed it all out. Because now whenever you make a change, you can see it very easily, and you can see when something's out of line. So what you see here is primary injectors, and we know that this curve is actually right for free revving. We'll go take it out, and we'll do the same thing under load. We'll try and get the car to stay in first gear and just rev it all the way up to 7,000 RPM. Still out of boost, but then we're just adding a percentage as we go up. And then at some point, we're gonna run out of primary injector, and I don't know when that is. So right up here, I have primary injectors leveling off right when the secondary injectors come in. And so they ramp in like this. That's not my map, that's just default from Fuel Tech. But so at some point, they're just gonna remain kind of a constant. If you keep this map going all the way up, the primary injectors will actually run out because A, there's not enough time, and B, the injector runs out of ability, a duty cycle. Simple, clean SpongeBob look that I've got, and then you're gonna see me mess it up again and then clean it up from there. But I have something, I have a rough, raw something to start with for this car. Cable must have moved because that's her idling right now, so we lost some pedal ability. There it goes. Yeah, see how when I left it off the gas or the this is the most I can do is get it down to this. So we'll have to fix that. Man, that turbo though. Each time we have gone through and experienced enough to, I think, give it a little bit of boost, just a little bit. I'm gonna save this log real quick. I'm gonna have to calibrate the throttle. I don't think it notices. We just got those really small things to deal with.
Oh wow, there's no TPS at all.
Yeah, for the first like 5%, it must have like moved around. Way more fuel. We all need to hear it from the outside. I added tons of fuel. It's very thirsty when it wants boost. So we're just gonna go to my favorite, no pounds of boost, 0 pounds of boost, and we'll just hear it, and then I'm gonna pull it back in and figure out some other things that are going on with the car. I have not been this excited for this little amount of horsepower in a long time. And I'll tell you what, this car, oh my God. I gave it 30%, like 25% more fuel, and it wanted even more. So a huge testament to the fuel system, because we only added 3 gallons to this thing, and we can do those pulls because we have the little baby surge tank. So phenomenal thing there is that I know we're gonna eventually run out.
You guys go to the gas station now, dude.
We do have to go to the gas station. Well, small things to handle, and then I think all in one night we'll have it fired up, boosting. That was still, I don't know, that was still negative boost, but that was still close to 0, but that wasn't 0. We got to figure some small stuff out, and then I think, like he said, we'll pile all 3 of us in the car and go to the gas station. I've learned one thing to be a better DC alternator customer, me, is to realize that all three wires, the main thing is powered, the sensing line, which is typically blue in their thing, is also wired back to this for the sensing of what it needs to be. And then finally, the yellow line, which is L, or light, is supposed to go to your dash. And the thing I made a the cat's going crazy. The thing I made a mistake on is that I thought that the dash would go and ground it out, so I sent it to. Leave it in there because she's being a little bitch. So she hasn't gotten her 20 hours of pets today. And so what happens is I thought it was like, okay, the alternator makes 12 volts, ECU grounds it, and then hey, there's an LED that turns on when this turns to 12 volts. It's the opposite. The alternator grounds the little thing out, and the ECU has it on 12 volts, and so then when this grounds, it shoots a signal over, and that's what lights up the alternator needs service thing. You have to have that circuit running to have the alternator run properly. So backwards, you go main power line, S sensing, which is blue, goes to the main power line, or wherever you want to sense 12 volts from to get the correct voltage to it. Finally, the L, the yellow wire in my case, gets a little resistor, which acts like an LED, and then that is then sent back to 12 volts again. So if you don't have a dash line or any, if you're not going with the OEM upgrade, all three end up making their way back to power, but the little L1 needs the little resistor. We're already at 13.5 and going up, so that worked perfectly. So here we are. Right, there's three of us guys. This is a two-seater, but there's only one seat in here. I know what you guys are all thinking. All three of us can sit together, stack, be very efficient. That's humanly efficient. But no, we're gonna go, instead of just getting gas, we're gonna go, what time is it? 9:33. Maybe we'll get gas. We'll get gas and then go celebrate my birthday at Chipotle.
I want to take him to a nice Cuban restaurant, but they're closed on Mondays, and it's weird. So we'll just go tomorrow. But Chipotle, that's his birthday. He wants what he wants, He's weirdo.
We're like that TikTok thing, off to do some sketchy shit. So much better. Awfully lonely in here. Nice to have some company.
So it's $100 by the hour.
I'll take it. Okay, you ready to see what these bins are for?
Oh,
Pre-mix. You can probably lay in the back. Actually, it's probably the best thing is if you lay in the back so you get the good lighting.
That's what I was thinking about doing.
Hey guys. Oh, you know what's nice about this though, guys? We're gonna get some sunroof, some moon.
Oh, you're gonna give us the moon ride?
Yeah, look at that. Oh, I treat my boys right. I'm not gonna wear a seatbelt just so that we all die together.
Okay, cool.
So I'm committed to
I
that.
got us on the ones and twos.
Okay.
Oh, we're not even plugged in.
Okay.
If you step on the gas, I'm flying into the fuel tank. No, you'll be okay. This is nicer than the FD.
Yeah. Well, it's my FD.
How much gas does this thing have?
I have no idea. Oh, it's below E.
Oh, you still have a while.
Yeah. Hear that thing? That was 1500 RPM. The thing wanted to go hard.
Dude, when it starts up, it sounds like a little jet starting.
They just hit the stay auto boost. Actually, tune's holding. We're actually getting good data too.
I care about the driving I'm seeing, dude. Just driving and driving.
Yeah, we've done very little to make this car reliable right now. That's the funny part. Like we built it, fired it up on the first run, and then friends. God, this thing is so tame. Never let go. Oh,
That shock lifted.
yeah, finally. Okay, and everything works to shut her down. There we go. All three of us made it on its maiden voyage. That's
That
pretty
baby's
awesome.
going places.
That she is. Okay, let's enjoy some food real quick. Stars look beautiful tonight. Wow.
All the smoke make clouds.
Yeah, I mean, I bet they look beautiful. I was like, wow, power steering's gone. And I realized something. It hits zones where it goes super lean and it like dies out. Nice and stable.
It feels just like an FC, like the vibrations and everything.
Uh-huh.
It
100%.
that's exactly what it is.
It's insane that at the same time it feels just like an FC, but it's like all of our work so far. Like it's so stable because of all the shit we've been doing. Yeah. That turbo's, you see it going up. Come back, I mean, the pedals, the thing holding it that high up. I am testing new premix. I can't speak about it one way or another yet, but we're trying new premix, and we have 18 ounces of it to put in 9 gallons of fuel. So we're only gonna fill it halfway, only because we ran out of premix. First of all, this is hilariously low. I don't remember it being this low. But second of all, this is the first time I've had to use premium gas in a long time. Normally, I'm either using ethanol, E85, or I'm using the shittiest gas possible because it's an Insight. We're probably going to be adding maybe about 9 to 10 gallons, just given the circumstances, and that's enough to have fun, play around, and again, the tank can go as empty as it wants because we still have that little surge tank to keep me safe. It'd be nice to have actually a separate sensor in the surge tank to see if that's going to empty out, but regardless, this is a pretty solid thing, and my God, does this car look good sitting here. It is time to pack back into this thing and head back to the shop and enjoy our Chipotle, and I'll go over the map as to why those spots are doing weird things. That's the whole point of this. What's absolutely crazy is you can hear the car like loading boost, and it's going more and more lean because it's just building boost, and I'm not even moving. It's just that slight bit of load on the clutch, and the thing's just like, it's insane. It's insane. First day driving it, and it's solid.